CPUSA Chapter Central Committee position secured. W. Infra 8 SUNGORILLA 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 Infra 8 SU
You know, I've talked about this before, but I don't want to keep having to say it, but I just... Thank you, RK East. What I see right now is it's 2022 in February, right? And when I think about reacting to other streamers and shit, you know, you think I'm trying to take the high road here and I'm above everyone else, and it's not it. I just sense, you know, when animals can sense the weather, I can sense something different changing in media and in the internet. And I sound fucking crazy right now, right? But I just sense something in the air, right? And I know I still have to engage with others. I'm not saying I'm gonna stop engaging. Like, I'll still critique Hassan and Destiny and whatever, and give my takes on substance. I know I'm a part of the streaming community, and there's no way around that, right? Okay, this is too much. There's no way around that. And I get that, right? But here's the thing is that I think it's actually time right now for infrared. I mean, I've gotten so big since I first started this time last year. I need to upgrade everything, okay? I need my setup to be looking more professional. I need my cameras to be better. I need this to be a better room, and that's something I have to ask you guys about maybe, because I don't know what I can do about that. But today I was supposed to go on RT today. I just couldn't get any sleep, so we're rescheduling it. But I was supposed to be going on RT today, right? I was supposed to be going on at 5 p.m. So that's gonna be rescheduled, and that hopefully it can be rescheduled. I don't know. It'll happen another time. But I actually think it is now time to take this to the next level. I need to upgrade everything. So first of all, first I'm gonna talk to you about the setup, and then I'm gonna talk about the content, right? So for the setup, I need completely different lighting. I need professional lighting. And this crazy loud mic shit, I don't know if I can keep that going forever, right? I think it's time to make this more professional, because if you didn't know, Infrared's goal was always to become a media company and a media platform, right? So I need to take it to the next level, because I'm sick of this. Aren't you guys kind of sick of this shit? It's just like, this is what I used when I first started out. I gotta upgrade this shit, right? And we'll probably do it together. Like, I might do a shopping stream and maybe set up a donation goal if I can't afford what I need. But I need the lighting to be much better, the camera to be better, and I need this to look, you know, there's 10 viewer Andys who have way better setups than me, right, in terms of how the lighting and shit looks. But the specific thing is it's got to be media. Get an office space? No, I can't afford that right now. Eventually, that's going to be the goal. Eventually, actually, the goal is going to be to probably get a common building for all the infrared people, right? Somewhere in the US that all the infrared people can use. But that's way far down the line, right? The Infrared Collective. But the first thing I need to do is get the fuck out of this lease, right? I have to really find a way. Oh, I probably can through like subleasing or something like that, Airbnb, anything like that. I'm gonna see what I could do about that. But I'm gonna get a new place first and foremost. And I'm gonna go start shopping, looking for places to get. And I'm also gonna be training for that MMA thing soon, right? I'm going this Sunday to do my first session, and I'm gonna slowly ease into it. But I'm gonna start doing it every day. So I'm gonna move closer to the gym that I'm gonna, which is still like, you know, an hour and a half away or 2 hours away, right? So yeah, I'm gonna start making this a lot more professional on the visual side of things and just the setup side of things. Also, with that overhaul, and I want to start doing this by the end of this month. So this is not something I want to project too far in the future. This is something I think is pretty urgent for this month, right? I want to maybe change the layout for how the stream looks, right? And with that is going to come the new emotes, and everything's going to be updated. Just everything getting updated. I already had a meeting with the Infrared Collective members about pumping out more infrared vision videos, because I told them the way they're being made now is not efficient, and we have to start streamlining it, right? So the next one is going to be about the social credit system, and that one's going to be out in like 2 days. They said 2 days is what he told me. So the next vision video is going to be in 2 days, right? And then there's also other videos on the YouTube from the debate with Q and then the trucker thing. The YouTube's going to get some more attention. Because, yeah, the YouTube's very important, right? Our Discord's been stagnating right now. You know, we've been stuck at 4,000 members for a very long time. And now I realize, yeah, this... So I've only ever thought of the like dialectic of growth and stagnation in terms of purges, right? Purges, you get rid of gatekeepers, and because gatekeepers are stopping more people from joining. But it's actually not the case that this is an issue of the law of the gatekeepers, because I investigated it. I looked at what's going on in the Discord. I talked to mods. And there's no gatekeeping going on. We don't have those factions that we used to that gatekeep and drive people off. And we don't have power-hungry mods that just ban everybody. So, you know, the reason mods ban people is pretty reasonable, right? That I've been getting, right? So it's not the law of the gatekeepers which is the issue. it's another aspect of the dialectic which I hadn't taken into account really, which is we need to develop the forces of production, right? We can't just have purges, right? Purges are one way to get them out of the way, but then you have to develop the forces of production. So I need to upgrade my setup and take this to the next level, right? Because there's a lot of people that take this seriously. There's a lot of people that watch this. I mean, like, I've been living in dreamland. So I started out at 10 viewers, and then now I'm like, what, 500-600 on good days now as the average. I know it's now like 300 to 400 as of the past week, whatever, but it's still a lot of people, right? So I think it's time that I take this to the next level. I need to mature more too, because I've inherited a very big community, a very big following, you know? And I need to start acting in a way that's befitting of that. You know, again, like I told you, today, I was supposed to be going on Russia today. So I'm not, don't get me wrong, the humor is still going to be here. The charm of the show and all the stuff you love about Infrared, that's all still going to be here. But I need to make this like more professional, just in the sense of like, this is actually like a big thing. This needs to be a brand, you know? This setup is not working, right? I look like I'm in a basement right now, right? And then the beaters, you know, that I might have to start dressing the part a little better, you know, maybe, I don't know. Yes, Alex Jones. I need to get, yeah, just like Alex Jones. He still yells, he's still funny, but he got a good setup, right? He's got a good setup and he takes care of his thing, and I need to go to level 2, right? When it comes to that. So I'm not going to be like wearing a suit, but I think I'm going to start taking it more seriously, right? And I need to start having a schedule and all that shit. You know, something I was thinking about, what did I learn from the LA trip? And what I learned most of all is that LA is dreamland. That's a place of dreams. That's a place where people don't have to be like pinned down by the grueling realities, right? And then I realized that made me appreciate in Michigan reality. Reality matters, okay? LA's not reality. It's a dreamland where you just do whatever the fuck you want, right? Michigan's a reality. Like here, it's cold. It's life and death. If you don't have heating, you're gonna fucking freeze to death. But we don't take shit for granted here, right? You know, we need to drive here. You gotta drive. You gotta have cars. You know how they work, and you gotta have highways. I mean, Michigan's like, it's much more reality-based place than LA, right? So I need to start making the distinction between the dreamland and the reality, because I've been in this Lynchian dreamland where I just wasn't taking a lot of shit seriously. Like, for example, I don't like the swords anymore. I don't like the foam swords anymore, you know? This is the dreamland, right? I'm not living in dreamland anymore. I'm an adult, and this shit needs to be a little bit more professional, right? The sword shit. Yeah, I can't be doing that shit anymore, right? If I'm serious, and the reason I'm doing this now, guys, is because I didn't really take streaming that seriously before. And the reason for that is because I still was like, oh, I'm taking a break from law school, which I had to take seriously. But if this is going to be my job, and I'm going to be dropping out of law school for this, which is, I anticipate that is going to happen. I mean, by spring or summer, you know, I don't think I'm just going to stagnate. I think I'm either going to, you know, disappear and go to 10 viewers again, or, you know, I'm going to grow a lot. And at that point, I probably will be dropping out of law school and doing this. So if this is going to start being my profession, and this is like my future, I'm going to have to take it a little bit more seriously, you know? We'll still have fun. Don't worry. We're still going to have all the fun together. But I'm just going to have to take it more seriously. My sleep schedule, my setup, my commitment to deadlines and things like that. It's all things I'm going to have to take more seriously, you know? And then, so that's that You know, I know all streamers talk about what they're gonna do and they never end up fucking doing it. Starting tonight, I'm gonna see what I can do, you know? Starting tonight, I'm gonna see what I can do. So, I think I'm just gonna try to be a little more mature now. Again, we're still gonna have all the fun we used to, but I gotta take it a little more seriously, you know? Let me blow my nose. Sorry, I'm congested a little bit. So if I end up staying here, the whole setup is gonna change. I don't know if I can make it happen here, but I need to have what those streamers have, which is the custom colored lighting where you can just have colored lighting and shit. I need that, right? Preferably a white room. Holy fuck, would be perfect. Oh, like a white room with white lighting or colored lighting. White room would be perfect, right? And also, like, if you didn't see shit in the background, it would be a lot better for me, right? So we gotta take infrared to the next level, right? And we're gonna do it together too. So the next thing I'm gonna talk about is the content, and that's what I was talking about initially. In terms of content, I want this to be a visionary. I want when people tune in, and I know this might mean I lose viewers and I lose a following because there's some people that come here and they're just interested in drama and shit and like all that stuff. But I do want this to be a place where people come to get the next cutting edge vision, right? I want people to come here to get the cutting edge kind of futurism. Thinking about the future, thinking about like new technologies and new like aesthetics, you know, that make us think about the 2030s or the 2020s, right? So I want to start doing that. That's what I think is the infrared vision. I miss the days when I first started this and I would go on ArtStation. I love ArtStation. I love the sci-fi on ArtStation. So I want to really introduce a big element of science fiction into what infrared is. I want more of a science fiction aesthetic. I want more of a spirit of science fiction, and I want the streams to be more evocative of science fiction, right? More futuristic in general, right? Again, this is a stream for the 2020s, okay? The whole setup needs to be changed, right? When we have debates, I need good transitions. I need futuristic transitions. I need like I need a lot of things, right? So I'm gonna, you know how they say spring cleaning? Spring cleaning's coming early for infrared. I'm gonna do this February. I'm gonna just overhaul this whole thing. New emotes, new everything. Changing how this setup. That's probably the first thing I'm gonna do is change how this setup looks, right? New transitions for the stream. Small things like that. Optimize the way in which debates happen and call-ins, segments, all those kinds of things. I'm gonna have to get to work on, right? No. Okay, I'm gonna pick on someone in my chat. Did you use an assistant? Yeah, but I couldn't afford one. I'm gonna roast someone in the chat. They go, cyberpunk is the best aesthetic. No, it's fucking not. Okay? You just don't know anything about our vision. and our aesthetic if you think it's fucking cyberpunk. It's not fucking cyberpunk, okay? It's not fucking cyberpunk. It's not cyberpunk. Don't fucking come here talking to me about ugly cyberpunk. This has nothing to do with cyberpunk, okay? My aesthetic has never been one of cyberpunk. I've never been a fucking cyberpunk kind of guy. I've always been for a very, people's punk. Fan Wenan is our aesthetic. It's called people's punk. Cyberpunk is fucking ugly and hideous. And I hate to break it to you. Cyberpunk is for ex-Catholic atheists. I'm not gonna elaborate. Cyberpunk is for ex-Catholic atheists who think they're so cool and edgy and shit. And it's literally just ex-Catholic aesthetics. That's all fucking cyberpunk is. I'm for people's punk. I don't give a shit about fucking cyberpunk. No, I'm saying that. Because if you think about it, Catholic aesthetics are about mutilation. And they're about like tit rips and tears and scars and things like that. And like this heartbreak, right? Cyberpunk, I don't want anything to do with cyberpunk. Where did you hear about Conflict Zone? Because that's the podcast me, Jackson, and Samira are doing, which is it's going to be called Conflict Zone, and that's going to be a regular thing. That's going to be a regular. Where did you hear that? That was not announced yet. It wasn't even announced yet. Yeah, we got a lot of big things planned. So today, I usually don't do this, like announce what we have on our itinerary today. We don't fully know necessarily, but here's what we're gonna do today. Today, I wanna have a more of a kind of cozy but edgy stream where we're gonna sit down together and we're gonna learn about Nick Land, Landian accelerationism. We're gonna watch history documentaries about Tamerlane and Timur, and we're gonna check the Reddit in a second. But I want to ease in more like on history. We're gonna watch history documentaries. We're gonna watch Nick Land and Dugan, right? And I want a more futuristic vibe for this stream, right? So today's stream is gonna be that. I don't care about covering, roast the neo-reactionary people. Okay, let me be very crystal clear, because at this point, I am asking anyone in my chat who can do this. At this point, I'm just willing to do it. Can anyone arrange for a way in which I could bring on Nick Land on stream, or Curtis Yarvin, any one of those people? I prefer Nick Land, but also Curtis Yarvin. Is there anyone who knows them, who could get in contact with them somehow through email or something? Because I would very much like to have them on stream. Nick Land or Curtis Yarvin. Reach out to Moldbug directly. How do I reach out to him? I know Nick Land's Twitter, but he does not accept DMs. He doesn't accept DMs. Zizek's not gonna come on. And that's fine. He's not coming on. I mean, yeah. Slavoj Zizek, he's not coming on. There's no way he's coming on. Why? I don't know. He's just not. Right? I emailed him like twice. He didn't respond. He's not gonna come on. Right? And honestly, I don't think he would want to, right? I don't really think he would want to. Yeah, I don't think he would want to. Michael Hudson, yeah, I'd love to have him on. I think Zizek is only interested in going on like the people who are these like big trendy Brooklyn hipsters. And that's fine. Like he goes on Chapo, he goes on Red Scare and whatever. And I don't think he wants to risk going on like a more cutting edge kind of thing. I think he just wants to play it safe and go on you know, these Brooklyn podcasters thing that already made it, right? Wasn't Cockshot gonna be on? Yeah, we were gonna schedule something, but it fell through. I'll get into contact with him again, right? Now, keep in mind this new approach I'm gonna do, taking it to the next level. I'm gonna forewarn you here, because I don't want anyone to like bother me about it. Yeah, it might lead to a decline in viewers and stuff, right? But I just want to build a solid foundation of this because I don't really have a foundation for my streams right now. So I prefer to have a foundation than to just like constantly do whatever I can to like get views. I think I have enough views to start building a foundation. What I've been doing until now is just like desperately in every direction just pull as much views as I can, right? And I'm pretty sure through all those views I pulled in, we have a solid 300 for a foundation to experiment with anything, and that's fine for me, right? Are you trying to shift away from being known as a debate streamer instead more theory intensive? I want to debate people in the way that George Galloway debates people on his show. Which means debates, I don't want to only be a debate streamer. I want to be a variety media streamer. I want to be a streamer that, and not only theory, I want to talk about futurism, right? I want to be able to report on like new infrastructure projects and new industrial, innovations and, kind of, I want to be more like a technologist. I want to be more I don't want to just be one thing. I want to be a lot of things, right? Yeah, I want it to be like a small news network. Not a news network, but like an alternative form of futuristic media. Futurism is the theme, right? Right now, I'm just known as a debate streamer. But debating has been exhausted. Like, no one will debate me anymore. And I guess people have already gotten the point. The debates that I had that went viral, those were like the cutting edge of my debates, right? And trust me, I'll still debate anyone, right? Because it's very good for my growth and whatever. But I just can't rely on that anymore as an avenue for growth. There's only so many people you can fucking debate, Debating has gotten me the exposure that I needed, and at this point, I want to take it to the next level, right? You like Dugan, Ebola, Gwinan? Dugan's alive, the others are not. I want Dugan on the stream, but he's a very banned guy because of anti-Russian racism, more or less. I mean, like, yeah, Dugan is banned from everywhere, not because he said anything that's, particularly abhorrent, because he's a scary bearded Russian guy that, that's why he gets banned from places. So I want to make sure that it's okay for me to have him on. As soon as I know that, I will do everything in my power to set up a conversation with Dugan. And if Twitch tells me that I can't bring him on, I'm going to do an offline recording of a conversation and post it on the YouTube anyway. So, yeah. Yeah, it's Russophobia. And I can't live stream on the YouTube because of the exclusivity agreement. Another thing I did last night was I emailed Twitch. Oh, actually, I can't talk about this. Yeah, I can't. I actually am not allowed to talk about this, so I'm not going to talk about it. But, you're talking about Roderick Day. I'm not. The only thing that surprises me about Roderick Day is how exactly he has 20,000 followers on Twitter. But other than that, he's a student. He's a guy who's still trying to learn about Marxism, who's never gotten there. And I guess people are impressed by his constant tweets about his journey to try and learn about what Marxism is. I am not impressed by it, obviously, because I've actually learned what Marxism is. So if he doesn't want to debate, I don't know what relevance this guy has. I mean, for me, at least. He can keep talking whatever shit he wants, and that's fine. I think for 2021, Ed Berg on stream would be nice. Yes. Holy fuck, he's never been on stream. Yeah, anytime. I'd love to have him on stream, literally anytime. Thank you, Wumas. Actually, I'm gonna DM him. Remind me to DM him to schedule something. I'll have him on anytime, you know? Anyway, as I was saying, you know what? Thank you, Serve.
Serve donated $5.71. Infrared has built one of the most loyal and dedicated communities I and many have ever seen. Keep going and do your thing. The Spartan army's got Infrared's back any day.
Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate you. Matter of fact, maybe we could do it. First of all, I'd have him on anytime, right? But also, when we start doing our podcast with me, Jackson, and Samira, we're gonna have guests on, and maybe Ed Berg should be our first guest for that podcast. And oh my god, that would be sick. I'm jealous of the audience, right? Because that would just be great to watch. Yeah, that'd be sick. And we could talk about Marxism and political economy and those things. It'd be really cool. But as I was saying, I think I spent 2021 mostly as an iconoclast, right? And as an iconoclast, it was basically me like mocking the aesthetic of others, thank you, Gorilla Gopnik, mocking other streamers, mocking streaming, not taking it seriously, kind of like joking around a lot and fooling around and shit. And I feel like what I set about to do with that, I've accomplished. That's why if you noticed in 2022, I've been in such like a different mind state, right? Since I went to LA and stuff, because it's like, I feel like what I was supposed to do starting out is done. That part is done, right? And I feel like now I can finally return to the roots of Infrared, what I really initially wanted to start doing. With, like I've done what I needed to do to grow, right? To grow enough. Now I can actually do what I wanted to do originally when I first started out. The only reason I couldn't do what I wanted to do originally is because no one knew who the fuck I was. But now I have a very solid foundation of attention that I've earned. I have a loyal, great community. We don't have the law of the gatekeepers anymore. We've gotten the community that I've wanted to get. Thank you, Janar. I've gotten the community I've always wanted, you know? So this is the foundation that I want to grow on now, right? And I know how to get attention. I understand the attention economy now. I know what I have to do to rake in more and to grow. So, yeah. I don't know who Jay Dyer is, okay? Yeah. Yeah, like I said, 2022 is a year that I want to make Infrared a serious media platform. I want to make this a serious media platform. I want to actually be a serious media platform with its own unique aesthetic. I don't just want to be a guy who mocks everyone else. My destructive thing is complete. I've destroyed bread. I feel like I have destroyed breadfruit, right? Or it's destroyed itself. So I did what I set about to do. Now I want to create. Now is the time to create, to build up the forces of production, right? That's what I want to do now. Create. And again, I have to be mature about it because I'm getting to a point where it's very likely this is going to replace law school. So I have to treat it with the same level of maturity and seriousness that I did with law school. Like, this is what is going to, I'm going to be relying on it for the foreseeable future, right? So yeah, that's what I wanted to say first, right? So now we're gonna check our Reddit. We're gonna go back to that old tradition of checking the Reddit. And by the way, our Reddit's been, if the most stagnant thing of all has been our Reddit. I mean, look at this. Our Reddit is like crazy stagnant. Because I don't check it anymore, right? But 3.5k and 9 people online. I mean, we could do better, I think, right? We could do better. Thank you, Farrakhan. Actually, I'm gonna do something that's gonna actually make it so I don't have to transition anymore. Hold on. I'm gonna take this, put it right here. So anytime I want to cover what I'm doing on the browser, I'll just activate this instead of changing the thing. There we go. That. Okay. So let's check this Reddit, see what's going on. So okay, what do you know? Speak of the devil. That's where this is from. Absolutely based. I love this image so much. This is what infrared's about. A lot of people like originally thought infrared was like schizophrenic vibes. No, it's like this. Like you hold it in your hand. It's like a newborn infant you hold in your hand. And it's the future. Something, it's just a delicate hope. The delicate hope. That's what infrared is. A delicate hope. A delicate yet powerful hope. Delicate yet powerful hope. Write that down. Someone write that down. Delicate yet powerful hope. Write that down. Delicate yet powerful hope. That's what infrared is. Okay? Let's continue. French domination of Mali is over. I think we should cover this today. We should go into a deep dive of what's going on in Mali, because I keep hearing about it, and we should learn about it together. We should learn what's going on with the French in Mali together. That's what I think. We should learn about that together. God, this is just poison. I swear to God, it's just poison. I'm so glad I had that theory stream with you guys where I explained to you how the plot of land turned into the fucking, you know, the gears in the machine of capitalism. Because what this idiot's going, actually, they're petite bourgeois. Actually, would you go on InfoWars if you were invited? In a heartbeat. Are you kidding? I would go on like any marginally bigger platform if I was invited. I'm not an idiot, you know? Anyway, especially InfoWars though. Yeah, with this guy's base, I don't know where this is such an ugly mentality. Oh, they're not pros, they're petite bourgeois. So who are pros? Just the most vulnerable, poorest people in our society? How convenient. Those are the people that are the most easily manipulatable and exploitable, right? I hate how people use theory for evil. I hate how people use it's opportunism, right? It's just a form of opportunism. Of course, most Republicans are proletarian. And if they're not proletarian, then the proletariat has ceased to exist as an intelligible class. It's become something else. I've seen this meme before. And it's funny. But I think the truth in this meme lies in the fact, this is the truth in the meme, right? The truth in this meme lies in the fact that I do occupy a place of novelty. Infrared occupies a place of novelty. I'll explain the meme, right? I'll explain the meme. It sucks to explain the meme, right? When you have to. It's because I've taken the risk of occupying the place of novelty. Now, historically speaking, everything balances out. If you call yourself a communist in 2022 or in the past 10, 20 years, 30 years, you'll find a way to balance it out with the historical stagnation around you such that you will never become a force of novelty. Everything becomes like part of the metonymic and self-referential way in which the existing status quo reproduces itself. So like you call yourself a communist, but you manage to rationalize your position to such an extent that it becomes compatible with the world you live in. It doesn't become a hole in the world you live in that actually corresponds to its transformation. So, in so many words, you find ways to make it not revolutionary. When you actually occupy a revolutionary position, it's not that you're changing the world, it's that you're articulating the changes in the world as they're happening. That's what it means to be a revolutionary. And that's the source of novelty for infrared. But the catch when it comes to occupying a revolutionary position is that you're going against the grain. You're going against the conventions, the mores, and the communities and the ideologies that exist, right? So yeah. Let's continue. This is literally every single one of my people on Reddit. You're banned from shit liberals say, banned from our communism. White settler. Look at this shit. It's like we are like the Israelites in Egypt. We're just persecuted. We're like the Christians in the Roman Empire. We're just like this persecuted new thing. You know what? That's what we are. We're like the Christians in the Roman Empire. Like, we're being hunted, we're being persecuted, we're being oppressed. We're the Israelites in Egypt. Like, look at this. Nazbol, dumbass, white settler, chauvinist, Gen Zedong, no patriotic socialism. This is what it looks like to be persecuted, honestly. Isn't this the case? We're literally like this persecuted new religious group in like a pagan empire or something. And we're just holding, like we're so persecuted, we're so hunted, and yet we stand together so steadfast, right? We're in this shit together. We're being persecuted everywhere, and we're not compromising. We're not giving in. We're not letting go, right? It's like there's a witch hunt going on. You guys are in the Communist Party of America and Canada and elsewhere, and you're concealing your views because we're being hunted, right? And yet, we're still going forward. We're still marching forward. We're not stopping, right? We're not stopping, right? Like, look at this. Look at this reaction against the patriotic socialists. Oh, we're Nazbols. We're white settler chauvinists. We're not relenting. We're not giving in. We're not giving in. We keep the faith. That's right. We keep the faith. You know, why do we do it, guys? Why do you do it? You don't get any social capital from this. You don't get people to like you from doing this shit. You do it because you believe in it, don't you? Because you have faith in it. When I say faith, I mean you're not certain it's gonna pay off, but you just believe in it, right? Thank you, Suez. You guys, let's be honest, guys. Being a communist, it's a lonely place in America, right? And yet you guys have sacrificed all your ties to these other communities and all these other people because you believe in this shit. Our small community, you believe in it, right? It's an army of faith. That's what it is. Beautiful. What is this? Anthem of the Guerrilla Army? Okay. Sorry. Fuck. Painting wasn't the best impression of Haas. What do you think would be the one? Oh, come on, man. You don't have to take it. You don't have to take it that seriously, man. Come on. It's not that serious, right? Look. You don't gotta take it that seriously. It was a joke. The painting was good. It was good. You didn't do anything wrong. Okay? Don't take it so seriously. It's just a funny picture. Belling. Okay. Alright, Voidburn did want me to look at this video that he made. So let's check it out. This is Voidburn's video that he made. Let's put a pause on this. Hold on. Let's put a pause on... Where the fuck is it? Okay. Voidburn did want me to watch this, so we're gonna watch this together. Check it out. Okay.
Been getting funding? No.
Fuck.
A 12% increase. I don't care, Jackson. I don't care.
Do you not have any values that you stand upon?
No. I don't.
I actually believe in this stuff. You know that, folks? I actually believe in Marxism. I actually believe in socialism. I've read books about it. I've visited socialist countries, okay? I've gotten arrested in demonstrations for this. I've risked my life trying to bring aid to the people in Yemen. And these people, these stupid 14-year-old teenagers who get on there and, you're racist because you wave an American flag. You're not decolonism. I'm more revolutionary than you, even though I sit on my computer and do nothing. Shut the fuck up, kid.
I've never heard Caleb swear. I love him so much. This is the best thing ever. This is the best.
Just shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it. Seriously, I've written this for real.
This is like when the teacher in class just loses it and just... You know you fucked up when the teacher has to say that shit, you know? This is so badass. I love it so much.
All right, if we're going to actually win this thing, we got to get to average Americans. We're not going to do it by making average Americans hate us. If we actually...
Like, honestly, I'm a guy who swears so much, it doesn't even matter, right? When he swears, you actually feel the punch. Like, I actually felt like I did something wrong. Right?
Actually want to get out of the nightmare of U.S. imperialism and capitalism and the low-wage police state and prison industrial complex, if we actually want to do something about this, we actually want things to change, we got to grow up, control your emotions, read a book, learn how to actually talk to people, get people to understand that your goal is to make life better. That's what we need. That is what we need.
We're building a new sun. Just like China's building a new sun, we're building a new sun. This is a fake world with shadows on the walls. So we're breaking out and we're building our own sun. The demiurge cannot stop us. We're marching against the demiurge and he can't do shit about it. Now we're gonna go and flood that communist...
I looked so good here. LA, you know what? LA was crazy because it was like, I looked like the best I've ever looked, but even that wasn't impressive in LA. But now that I'm in Michigan, this is like a god in Michigan, right? Now I'm Michigan, I don't look as good.
Party and take it over before the feds. We're gonna secure and take over that fucking party, and we're gonna make it our base of operations.
Yes, it does change your look. Trust me, it does.
Of the war of the people against the elites. We're gonna make it our base of operations, and we're gonna secure that base of operations. And from that base of operations, we're gonna wage a class war on behalf of the American working working class.
Yeah, the whole jewelry thing, I'll never wear jewelry again. I'm not going to wear a necklace again. I'm not going to wear rings again. I'm in Michigan now. I'm a simple guy in Michigan, you know. LA, I had to do that shit just to survive. Just to survive in LA and hold my own and defend myself, I had to wear jewelry.
We're
Thank you,
still
Misha.
here.
Appreciate you. Nah, I can't wear gold. I don't wear gold. Nice. Nice. All right. Oh, fuck. Keep doing this mistake. All right. Cool. Upvoted. Definitely upvoting that. Nice. Nice. We need more Reddit content, okay? We just need more Reddit content. Because I'm going to be doing this every day now. And we need to fucking get more Reddit content. Thank you, Mr. Discipline. Appreciate you. We need more Reddit content. Spiritually weak Redditors. I just learned that in the People's Republic, most pornography sites were banned due to the firewall. And I was wondering what the average Marxist-Leninist thinks of this. Okay, but without looking, I didn't look at it yet. So this is for Marxist-Leninists. What do Marxist-Leninists think of porn? So this is a no-brainer, right? Marxist-Leninists are against porn, right? Isn't that a no-brainer? I mean, to me, that's a no-brainer. That's not up for negotiation. It's an up for dispute. It's not something we're gonna fucking, like, have to debate about. It's just something we just automatically understand and we know, right? I mean, as Marxist-Leninists, we are against porn. When you think Marxist-Leninist, you don't think of a... That's like a person who calls himself a Demsoc or a liberal or something, right? I mean, we're against porn, aren't we? So let's see what... I watch the pornography and support this ban. Okay, good. Hold on, I thought they were going to be against the ban. And I don't care if people are hypocrites. Be a hypocrite. I don't really care. I care about what your principles are. I don't care what you do, you know? You could, for all I could care, you could be a serial killer with 3 people tied up in your basement. I don't give a fuck. Just don't advocate for that in public. Yeah, I guess these are addicts waiting for salvation. I don't hate you. I only have a problem with you if you're gonna, like, try and justify it. Right? I'm not really against hypocrisy. I don't care what you do in private. I care what you're telling to the masses and to the public and to the people, right? I care about what your position is collectively, not individually. Individually, do whatever you want, right? I don't care. I'm not your mom. I'm not your girlfriend. I'm not your friend. I don't know you, right? If I was your friend, maybe I might judge you, right? If I was your friend and you're doing something that I consider immoral, I'll be like, okay, hey. Or if I'm your family member, you're doing something immoral, I'll say, hey. I don't know who the fuck you are, so it's none of my business what you do in private. I care about what you advocate for in public, right? I do not watch pornography, and I do not support this ban. Okay, but the fact that there are 26 Marxist-Leninists who claim they're against the ban is really fucked up. But this actually is a weird proportion. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually kind of surprising. Like, really? Most Marxist-Leninists watch porn? This just kind of surprises me. I mean... Really? Am I the only guy who doesn't watch porn? People, when I tell them I don't watch porn, they don't believe me. I say, yeah, it's a turnoff. When I'm like fucking whatever, it's just a turnoff. I'm sorry. Porn is a turnoff. It's a big turnoff. It's just gross. Yeah, it's gross. And you know why it's gross? Because you know that porn has nothing to do with sex. It has nothing to do with actual sex. So it's like, it's just this perverted thing people do that has nothing to do with sex at all. Literally nothing. And I'm not just saying that, oh, it's because it's unrealistic. But because getting off to watching others doing it has nothing to do with doing it yourself. It has nothing to do with that. It's like, it's literally that simple. There's no relationship whatsoever. That's why people in relationships are still porn addicts. That's why people who still have sex in real life, they can still be. Isn't that scary? Think about this for a second, guys. Just for 1 second. People who regularly have sex are still porn addicts. So what are they enjoying through porn? You'd think porn is like, oh yeah, I can't have sex, so I'm just going to watch porn. No, but there's people having sex and they're still addicted to porn. So what hole is porn filling in your heart or in your whatever that you need it? That's pretty scary to me, right? That alone is pretty scary. The fact that it has nothing to do with sex is pretty scary, you know? It's almost like, yeah. It's a perversion. It's like a fetish. It's like a kink. If you're into porn, that's like being into, like, I don't know, some weird perversion, like bestiality or some shit. I don't know. It doesn't have anything to do with sex. CPI Austin, is it 12th of March or 15th? I don't know. So this is the CPI thing that's happening.
We need a government of action. We need a government of action. We need a government of action to fight for working families. We need a government of action.
Okay, what is this? What is this? Why? Why? I mean, it's just stupid. Why? Why? What did I... Okay. Why? It's not necessary.
We need a government of action.
Why? Literally, why? And you know what I was doing here is I was mocking the Techno Viking. I was doing the Techno Viking dance to the best of my ability. Right? But did I know this would become a political symbol for the Center for Political Innovation? No. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it, right? That's what I mean by taking it to the next. I guess I'm a big streamer now, so what I do matters, right? I didn't take it that seriously back then, and I guess I can't do this shit anymore. You know? You know what? It's too late, though, because in 2021, I have given you guys so much content of me joking around. There's, like, even if I, like, it doesn't even matter if I still do it or not, because it's like, if I become, like, a professional news guy, this will always be there. If I become a professional news guy, there will always be the fucking 2021 memes. There's so... You know what I did, actually? I was a genius, right? So most public figures are like super clean and professional. And you dig up one thing and it ruins their whole image. 2021, I spent so much of it goofing around, doing like silly shit, that there's like an infinite amount of it. And it's like none of it can harm me because there's just an infinite amount, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like you can't... When I start becoming serious and more professional and shit, it's like, okay, what can you dig up? There's like an infinite amount of it. You have to get over it because clearly I didn't care that much, you know? It's fucking genius. Yeah, it's like the Trump approach. There's like so much shit you can cancel me for, you can't even cancel me anymore.
We need a government of action to fight for working families. We need a government of action. We need a government of action.
I don't know if you know this. Maybe they're gonna announce it here. I'm going to this myself. I'm gonna be here. I don't know. Do they know I'm gonna be there? Maybe I don't know. I'm gonna be there. Like I'm actually going. I'm not.
We need a government of action to fight for working families.
A new upsurge in the struggle against U.S. imperialism is now emerging throughout the world. Ever since World War II, U.S. imperialism and its followers have been continuously launching wars of aggression. The people of various countries have been continuously waging revolutionary wars to defeat their aggression. While the danger of new world wars exists, people of all countries must give their...
Okay, I have to see this. What is this? David Harvey, Birth of a Sigma Marxist. What is this?
He was mainly trying to speak to was the working class in France and in Germany, to a lesser extent in Italy and Spain, and of course in Britain. So Marx is very interested in communicating to that working class, but most of that working class was illiterate, apart from a self-educated artisan working class. So when Marx talks about he's trying to communicate with a self-educated working class. The autodidacts of the early 19th century, both in Britain and France, were remarkable people. A lot of them were in trades which had to do with publication, like printers and the like. And that working class educated itself. It had no formal education.
There you go. And this is such a blow to the professional managerials who try to gatekeep. Yeah, isn't that fucking based? These weren't fucking people in university. How many Marxists are self-educated today? None.
But
they all learned it from their fucking CIA professors.
One of the things that Marx emphasizes and recognizes in his work is that the autodidacts, the self-educated working class, is by far the most dangerous working class. When Marx in this book mentions people like Shakespeare and William Blake and so on, the educated, self-educated working class of the period knew what he was talking about.
So it's almost like the working class of his period were a bunch of people who were similar to like the consumers of InfoWars. They're just like all people who do their own research. They do their own studying. They don't trust the mainstream media. They don't even have a mainstream media to trust in to begin with. And they think for themselves. You know, a lot of people have come to this like idea that the proletariat were never like these independent people. And they associate that level of independence with the petite bourgeoisie. So they think like the MAGA base or the truckers, they're all petite bourgeois because they have the petite bourgeois independence. But working class people, proletarians, were very independent in the way they thought. They thought for themselves. In the Soviet Union, they thought for themselves. They read and consumed so much literature, and they came to their own conclusions independently. These people thought for themselves. This idea of the proletariat as these mindless drones and slaves who had no independent thinking is wrong. Proletarians were citizens, like the citizens of the Roman Republic. They had this dignity about them, which you don't find among, you know, the people they fetishize. And you don't find like this like sense of total, like complete dependence on others and no thinking for yourself, total institutionalization. They were not like that. They weren't like grad students who are like getting coffee for their fucking professors. They were men and women who thought for themselves. It's very important to remember when it comes to the working class and the proletariat.
Today, that class faction still exists, but it's in a way been swamped by the formal education. And the formal education, for the most part, teaches you ways of thinking and ways of arguing and ways of being, which are rather antagonistic to the way in which Marx set things up.
Can anyone argue with that? Seems pretty like airtight to me.
But in the final section of the Communist Manifesto, what does it say? What does it say? In short, communists everywhere support every revolutionary movement against the existing social and political order of things. In all these movements, they bring to the front as the leading question in each the property question, no matter what its degree of development at the time. And finally, they labor everywhere for the union and agreement of democratic parties in all countries. The communists disdain to conceal their views and aims. They openly declare that their ends can be attained only by the forcible overthrow of all existing social conditions. Let the ruling classes tremble at the communist revolution. The proletarians have nothing to lose but their chains.
No, Caleb, they were only talking about the woke people. They weren't talking about every uprising. They were only talking about the ones who were sufficiently educated.
And they have the world to win. Workers of the world unite. That is how the Communist Manifesto ends. Now let's go over that. Let's break it down here because I want you to understand this, right? Someone else asked me to quote Marx and Engels later, and so we'll do that. And so let's just break this down. In short, communists everywhere support every revolutionary movement against the existing social order of things. Now, what does it say there? Does it say communists everywhere support every revolution against the existing social orders of things as long as it's woke? No. Do communists support every revolutionary movement against the existing order of things as long as the people involved aren't racist? No. Do communists support every revolutionary movement against the existing social order of things as long as the people involved are politically correct and left-wing and liberal? No. That's not what it says.
It says all of them. It says all of them. It doesn't condition it on, well, unless they have some backward views on non-binary people. No, it says all of them. All of them. All uprisings against the status quo, communist support. And then you're like, okay, Haas, so would you have supported the Nazis? But the Nazis weren't an uprising against the status quo, because without the backing of the industrial capitalists, they wouldn't have been able to seize power. They were an extension of the establishment.
It's not what it says. It says communists support every revolutionary movement against the existing social order and political things. Every. Period. If people are against the system, if people are at odds with the capitalist system for any reason, because they think their taxes are too high, because they're mad about the economy, because they don't like vaccine mandates, whatever it is, wherever people are at odds with the system, the communists must go there. But what do they do when they get there? In all these movements, they bring to the front as the leading question in each the property question, no matter what its degree of development at the time. So what does that say? That says, well, if it's a liberal movement, you just go to it and pretend to support it. No. It says, oh, if it's a right-wing movement, you don't go there at all. No. It goes to these movements and brings to the front the leading question, which is the property question. Meaning, if people are protesting against the system, your job isn't to go there and pretend to support it. Your job is not to ignore it if it's right-wing. If people are at odds with the capitalist system, your job as a communist is to go there and convince those people to be communists. Raise the property question. You got to go there and say to the people, you mad your taxes are too high? It's because of capitalism. You mad about Wall Street, 99%, 1%? It's because of capitalism. Wherever the people are in motion, you go to them and you win them to communism. And you don't abandon communism and tail after the liberals, and you don't ignore it if the people are right-wing. Wherever the people are in a confrontation with the existing social order, it is the absolute duty of communists to go there and win them. And why does it say, no matter what its degree of development at the time? Meaning that a lot of times there are people rebelling against the system who are not at all class conscious. That's what that means. That is exactly what it means. He was talking about the Tea Party when he wrote this. No matter what the degree, go to the Tea Party. And it's going to be really hard to get those people who have a sign that say Obama is a communist and China is taking over America. You have to find a way to talk to those people.
Yeah, and that's that. A lot of people think, oh, that's tailism. They're trying to adapt to the ability to talk to people who are not educated or not intellectuals. That's not tailism. That's recognizing a reality outside of your intellectual bubble. That's not tailism. Tailism isn't defined, again, tailism is not defined by the intellectual status of the masses. It's defined by their positional status in regards to politics and the revolution. A lot of people say, Haas, you're a tailist, but you're assuming tailism means the level of education rather than the objective position in relation to the social order as a movement. Movements are not principally defined by consciousness. They're defined by moving, not by thinking, but by moving.
It's not easy. It's a tough job. But no matter what degree of development at the time, meaning no matter how back...
You know what tailism would be? Tailism would be like, for example, if there's an uprising of truckers, you tail behind and focus on those truckers that are a little bit reluctant and are not ready to have an uprising, and you just kind of hide behind them. That is the principal form of opportunism that defines tailism.
Backward these people are, no matter how racist these people are, no matter how confused these people are, no matter how much these people don't want to hear it, no matter how difficult it is, no matter what of its degree of development at the time, no matter what the degree of development at the time, you find a way to go where the people are in motion, in rebellion against the existing order of things, and no matter what, you find a way to bring the property question to the front as the leading question. That is your duty. Right? That is what it says. And furthermore, what does it say? It says the communists disdain to conceal their views and aims, meaning that they don't hide what they stand for. They don't hide what they stand for. They don't pretend, they don't.
That's an important thing, because a lot of people ask me, Haas, why even call yourself a communist in this climate? For the same reason Bernie called himself a socialist and yet was very popular, relatively speaking, among the Midwest, conservative working class. Because when you be open and honest about what you are, you gain people's trust. Don't lie to people about what you are. Just show them what you actually mean by that in a new way.
Don't pretend, oh, we're just liberals just like you. Oh, communists, we're not communists. We're just liberals just like you. Now let us organize the protest cage. No. Communists disdain, meaning they try to never conceal their views. Never do they try to conceal their views. That is the duty of communists. So you asked me for my answer, and I just gave you that answer, right? So yes, anywhere we can reach the masses, we got to reach them. All right, how important is it to be able to relate to people if you want to win them to socialism? It's more important than anything else. If you can't relate to people, if you can't understand how they're suffering, one of the most important things you have to do is when you're going to people, you have to listen to them. You can't just talk at them. You have to listen to them. You have to hear them. When you go and you...
I mean, that's one thing that so-called communists do, and Maoists and wherever you want in America, is that they measure people's revolutionary potential and their class status by the extent to which they are willing to accept your views. So when you bark at them that this is the truth, the extent to which they're going to be receptive to you is the extent to which they're revolutionary. And the extent to which they resist your attempt to initiate them in your social bubble is the extent to which they're backward. So it's actually not based on any class relation. It's based on education. And that's such an important thing you have to focus on today and emphasize. It's based on education, which is a weird thing, right? I feel like I kind of want to draw an MS Paint of this. What do you guys think of that? So let's just briefly draw an MS Paint of this because, right? Okay. Just briefly go to an MS Paint. Fuck, sorry. Okay. Very briefly, right? So it's almost like here, we're just going to try as best as we can, right? So here, we have, let's just say here, we have intellectual consciousness
Based
of class consciousness, ideological correctness, right? Here you have that. Thank you so much, King Glucose. Here you have that. Can I align this? No, I can't. Okay. You have class consciousness, ideological correctness, right? Then, here, this is the paradox of class consciousness, more or less, right? Then, you more or less have at the bottom, how should I approach this? You more or less have at the bottom, you have class consciousness, ideological correctness. Sorry, you know what? This is wrong. It should be a pyramid. It should be a pyramid. So here, you have class consciousness, ideological correctness, right? So this is the pyramid, right? And then it's almost like there's an inverse pyramid. Maybe this is a little weird. Can I make this upside down? There's nothing I can do, can I? Oh, you cannot make an upside down pyramid. We'll have to draw one, I guess. We'll draw one. Class consciousness, ideological correctness. And we'll have just this foundation, right? I guess. There's no rotate button. There's no rotate. I've tried. Where's the rotate? There's none. Oh, you can. Rotate, flip, vertical. Oh. Okay. I guess. Nah, it's just whatever. Okay. Whatever. So you have class consciousness here, right? And then here, you actually have the real class here, right? At the bottom. The real class, ideological ambiguity. Ideological ambiguity. Chaos. So this is where the real class is, and there's ideological ambiguity and chaos, right? And this is supposedly supposed to be of consciousness of the class. Consciousness of the class itself, right? Here's the paradox. At the very top of this pyramid, you arrive at consciousness of the class itself. But the real class dwells in a state of ideological ambiguity and chaos. So and then we're gonna actually have this, right? Be here. Be like, let's say, privileged, educated classes. Right here, right? Privileged, educated classes, and then down here you have students, baristas, urban, interns, etc. Whatever, right? So it looks like these people are more likely to be receptive and become ideologically correct. So you end up with the illusion, right, that the real class is reactionary, measured by the pyramid of ideological correctness. But the class consciousness in Marxism is supposed to be nothing more than of the real class itself. So you end up with this paradox of thinking that like the professional managerials and students and these urban people are more revolutionary just because they appear to have more class consciousness, right? But that's just the aspect of consciousness. When it comes to the substantive real class, those people dwell in a state of ideological ambiguity and chaos. And the reason for that isn't necessarily because they have different values, but because their real class is not always already conscious of itself. So if it's not always already conscious of itself, there's a material aspect of the working class that precedes consciousness. And that material aspect is not is going to correspond to an ideological chaos. It's a material aspect of the working class that can crystallize into multiple different types of consciousness, right? And that chaos is precisely what these people fear, because for them it ends with the pyramid, right? Below pyramid of institutions lies fascism. There you go. Below this pyramid right here, they're going to say it's fascism, right? It's this chaos. And why do I put this as a type of circle too? Because this also represents the same level of chaos and whatever. They just conceal it and hide it because they overlap with the institution. So the institution is a pyramid. Here you have the material classes that hide their material interests through the institutions, or funnel their material interests through the institutions. And here you have the working class outside of the institutions. And by merit of being outside of this institution in which class consciousness is made, they're called fascist, just because they dwell in this state of ideological ambiguity and chaos. Does this make sense? Hit up Zerka and Austin. Why? No. Why? Just no. My answer is no. Okay, so let's go back. So that was like a big detour.
People, one of the first things is to hear what they are saying. You know, you're going to a group of working people that are you know, trying to convince them to become socialists. You need to listen to them first. What makes you angry about capitalism? Why are you upset? You need to find out what their grievances are and really listen to them. And then, once you've heard them, you can explain, based on what they feel, why socialism is the answer. Absolutely.
Great. Our communism and our communist subreddits are full of idpol Anglo LARPers. Okay, let's look at this. Is a violent revolution by the proletariats still possible in the 21st century? The question is pretty much self-explanatory. Capitalist countries have such strong armies, and with modern technology and controls, won't a violent revolution be impossible? Would the proletariat stand a chance against the arsenals of the bourgeoisie? Not to mention the impossibility of the task to arm proletariats in the first place. This got 193 upvotes. This is just immature LARPing. This is nothing more than immature LARPing. Okay? Have you noticed that every communist revolution in history didn't actually overthrow the state? Can you name me an exception? Every single communist revolution in history happened after the state collapsed. The provisional government was not the state. That was after the czarist state collapsed, and the provisional government never was able to acquire the same legitimacy that the czarist state did. Now, in China, you had the warlord era. There was no central state to speak with at all. It was a state of chaos and warlords. Cuba didn't start out as a communist revolution at all. It became communist after they seized power. They didn't start out as communists. They started out... Can I say something that's going to be heretical? I don't know what the origins of the July 26th movement are in Cuba. I don't know who was behind that or what was behind that. But it kind of seems... Should I just delegitimize myself? Now, this is no blame to Castro. It's not Castro's fault. But here's something which you may seem like it's a joke, and then I'm gonna show you there's actually a thing behind it, right? It's not just a joke. Okay, you think it's a meme, and I just found out about this the other day, and I don't think it incriminates Castro, but it's just reminded me of this, right? So you guys have seen this meme, right? You've seen it. Hold your laughter. You're thinking, oh, it's just a joke. This is just a joke, right? It's just a joke, right, guys? They just look alike. Trudeau and Castro. Hold your horses, because I just found out about this too. And it kind of has me shook, right? This is Justin Trudeau's mother and Fidel. This is Pierre Trudeau and Fidel. So the Trudeaus, Justin Trudeau's parents, were actually pretty close with Fidel. And if you notice that Fidel's funeral, Justin Trudeau actually gave a very glowing eulogy for Fidel, right? Which people found very weird, right? Now, here's where it's a little weirder. So Trudeau was born in December 1971. 9 months before he was born, we have it on recording that the Trudeaus were in the Caribbean on vacation in the spring of 1971. Now, Vice News, thank you, Chiven Enjoyer. Vice News had lied and claimed that, oh, well, the Trudeaus were not there in 71. They only visited Castro years and years later. But they omitted from the very source they got from Wikipedia, this was proven, Vice News, that the Trudeaus were there in the Caribbean in 1971. Now, did they meet with Castro in 1971 in the spring? We don't know, right? But I just want to show you that this is his father. I mean, he doesn't look that much like his father at all. He looks a lot more, I mean, you think it's a joke and it's just whatever, but it kind of has me shook, and I don't have I don't have an agenda saying this shit, but this kind of has me a little shook, okay? Now, let me tell you some other things that, yes, that's what it was. The Trudeaus were swingers. So the Margaret Trudeau, which is his mother, which is what you're seeing in this picture, was very notorious for getting around a lot, right? She slept with many, many men while she was married to Pierre. I'm not joking right now. It's what she was a party girl, right? She was like Paris Hilton. She was a party girl. It's not a joke. Stop KEKWing because I'm not fucking joking right now. I'm open to being disproven on this because I don't want Justin Trudeau to be Fidel's son. I don't want that to be the case. Clearly, ideologically, I don't want that to be the case. But I'm going to be like a fair guy when it comes to this. And like, I want to know what the truth of this is because, again, you think it's just a funny coincidence, but then when you study, you think this is just a funny coincidence, but then when you study it, I mean, come on, guys. They look like twins. You don't tell me that this is not a thing. This doesn't look like him at all. This act, they look like twins. Come on. There's no way it's not, they're not related. And there's too many coincidences. Fidel was known, I think, for partying a little bit. She was a party girl. They were in the Caribbean in spring 1971, 9 months before Justin was born in December. I mean, just do the math, put it together. I'm pretty sure. Look, until someone can like confront me with some kind of evidence disproving they weren't in the Caribbean in the spring of 1971, this is too big of a coincidence to overlook. I'm pretty sure the way I see it. Thank you, Kven Joy. Appreciate you. I'm pretty sure the way I see it, the way I'm looking at this, right? I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that Justin Trudeau is the illegitimate son of Fidel Castro. Here's where it gets weirder. Okay? Here's where it actually gets weirder. Fidel's mother was Lebanese. She came from Lebanon. His mother was Lebanese. So Fidel is half Lebanese. That means Justin Trudeau is a quarter Phoenician. He's a quarter Lebanese. So it just keeps getting weirder and weirder, right? And I've been hearing a lot about Phoenician conspiracy theories. I guess it's like replacing the anti-Semitic conspiracy theory where, like, you know, people who believe the Jews control everything. There's like this new conspiracy theory that the Phoenicians control everything. And I'm Lebanese, so I'm allowed to entertain this conspiracy theory. I'm Phoenician, right? But there's this new conspiracy theory that, like, there's a Phoenician, like, the elites worship Phoenician gods and all this kind of shit. I've seen a lot, okay? And I keep seeing the Phoenicians come up. Whenever I'm, like, looking at conspiracy theories, the Phoenicians keep coming up, right? So, I mean, I'm 100% a Lebanese, and I am the descendant of the Phoenicians. It's been proven with studies. It's been proven of studies of DNA, right? That the group that I come from in Lebanon and the geographical location are some of the most Phoenician in Lebanon, right? A lot of people have this thing where they think that Maronites are Phoenicians. It's not true. Maronites historically came from Jordan and were not in Lebanon as long as the other groups were. The Orthodox and all the Muslim groups, not just the Shia, but also the Sunni, were like in Lebanon the longest. The Maronites can trace their lineage to Jordan, the Jordan Desert. So, yeah, I'm Phoenician. So whatever this Phoenician conspiracy is talking about or is about, I'm somehow a part of it myself. And I'm not consciously a part of it, or am I? But is it a coincidence that Haas, this up-and-coming streamer on Twitch, is also Phoenician? I mean, how did he grow so fast? Why is he getting all this attention? What's behind this Haas guy? Is it just a coincidence that he's Phoenician, right? So anyway, here's what we know. Justin Trudeau, and again, I'm willing to be disproven on this. I'm definitely open to being disproven, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and say, based on what I've read, he is Fidel's son. he is Fidel's son. Illegitimate son. He is. Which also means because Fidel is 50% Lebanese, he's a quarter Phoenician. He's a quarter Lebanese. And check fact checking. Okay, so because Vice News tried to like debunk it and it was wrong. And also the Canadian government tried to debunk it and it was really weirdly wrong. Right? Debunked. Okay, this is supposedly debunked. Let's check it out. So let me just make sure it's safe. Let's look at the details. The theory hinges on the fact that, as previously mentioned, the Trudeaus went to a Caribbean honeymoon around the 13th of April, 1971. They visited many islands from Trinidad to Barbados, yet as this news clipping from Ottawa Journal states, they left on a quick side trip to an unidentified island. The local press was asked to respect the newlyweds' desire for privacy. I mean, I wonder what that island was. I wonder what that mysterious island that the Trudeaus traveled to was. I'm pretty sure it was Cuba. Pretty sure it was Cuba. He was born 8.5 months later on Christmas Day. This is the only concrete evidence of the Castros potentially being Justin's father. The article uses many less credible sources, one of which states that the Trudeaus introduced Castro to their children, held them lovingly as opposed to holding children unlovingly and with great disgust. It argues that Pierre and Justin look nothing alike, which is fair. But fathers don't have to look like their children in order to father them. Yeah, but it's like there's too many coincidences here. Like, why were the Trudeaus so close to the Castros? Why did Justin Trudeau give such a glowing eulogy to Fidel at Fidel's funeral? Why do they look so alike? I mean, look, I wouldn't be so inclined to entertain it if it wasn't for this. And you think this is a joke, and it's not. Why do they look so alike? Why do they look so alike? It's not a joke, guys. Okay? It's not a joke. If it's true, what would it change for us? That's the thing, is I don't know what it would change for us, but I just find it weird. I find it weird because he's like the Prime Minister of Canada, so it's just weird, right? Castro and Justin share some very basic European features. Okay, you know what? That's how you know, like, this is not very basic. This is like their cheeks. Look at their cheek alignment with the nose. Look at their nose. Look at their eyes. They're twins. Like, this is the same fucking person. No, the noses are not different. Look at this. Tell me this isn't the same fucking person. This is just generic European features. Get the fuck out of here. These are twins. Yeah, okay, this is where it's like irrefutable, right? Compare, even this fucking one doesn't even, Trudeau, young Fidel. I want to show you how fucking scary this is, okay? Oh my god, come on, man. You're gonna fucking tell me this? There's so much shit here. It's like, why is this treated like a conspiracy theory? It's not a conspiracy at this point, okay? This is not a conspiracy at this point. Like, okay, I'm gonna just convince you, right? I'm gonna convince you. So first, go ahead and tell me these aren't twins, right? Go ahead and tell me this isn't the father, okay? Let's continue, because clearly not enough people are convinced of this. Not enough people are convinced of this. Let's continue. Is this really that far off? Is this really that far off? It's not that far. You guys think, okay, I know I joke around a lot and I goof around a lot. I know, I get it. I goof around a lot, I joke around a lot, I troll a lot. I am telling you right now, I am not trolling. I am actually not trolling. I literally don't know what to make of this. I am actually convinced he's probably his son, and I'm not joking or trolling. I'm not joking or trolling, okay? And I don't know what to make of that. That's the thing, is like, that much is very clear to me, that it's probably his son. The weird thing is that I don't know what to make of it. I don't know, like, what that means. What does that mean? I don't know. I don't know what it means. Tell me what it's supposed to mean. I don't know. Okay? I don't know what that means. Okay, now who's the father? If you had to guess who the father is, which one? Is it this guy? Or is it this guy? Who is this person's father? This guy or this guy? And just be honest about it, okay? Like, come on, it's so fucking obvious. The only reason you would be denying this is for ideology. I'm sorry. But this means something, okay? This means something. This fucking means something. Now, what does it mean? I don't know. But it means something. No, it's... Okay, how is it a reach? Tell me that's... You know, you say... Okay, you tell me it's a fucking reach. But if this was your son, and this was someone you knew your wife was close with, I'm pretty sure you would be suspicious, okay? Forget that it's Fidel. Forget that it's Trudeau. If this was you, and this is what your son looked like compared to a guy that your wife was pretty close with and was photographed with, I'm pretty sure you would want a DNA test. And I'm going to go ahead and offer a challenge. Justin Trudeau, take a DNA test. Take a DNA test. Let a neutral third party administer a DNA test, Justin Trudeau, and compare it to Fidel. And then that will lay it to rest. And if you don't do that, what do you have to hide? Justin Trudeau, what do you have to hide? Okay? What do you have to hide? Look, this being true doesn't necessarily mean that Fidel is like in bed with the deep state or anything. Could very well mean that, you know, Margaret had a little too much to drink in Cuba, and Fidel, you know, is Fidel, and you know something happened. That's all it has to mean, right? And if you think it's like, wow, how is that a coincidence? I'm gonna be paranoid. I'm gonna tell you something. It's a small world. Let me tell you why it's like a small world. I was scrolling TikTok the other day, and I saw someone with like 5 million likes and like millions of followers. I was like, wait, what the fuck? I literally like went there, the apartment they were filming in, like it was their apartment. I was like, what the fuck? I was there. I was sitting on the couch there, chilling there. Like I literally met that person, and we was like a group of people. It was like a 5 people or something, 4 people. I was there. I was literally there. Like this TikTok I randomly just see. I was there, right? It's a small world. That's all I'm trying to say. If you're like minimally famous, you like meet other famous people. Like, you know, like Jackson met the Pauls. He met Jake and Logan Paul. When I was in LA, he met them, right? It's a very small world. It's a very, very small world. That, you know, when you like have a minimum of some kind of like celebrity status, it's just a small world. That's all it has to fucking mean. Okay? I do go on TikTok. I do scroll on TikTok. Because it's funny. There's a lot of funny shit on TikTok. I'm not gonna lie. It just makes me laugh. But anyway, yeah. Anyway. It's a small world. In Ukraine, a man was convicted for publishing quotes from Stalin and Lenin. The beacon of democracy, Ukraine. Let's actually look at this. I know that after my death, a pile of rubbish will be heaped on my grave, but the wind of history will sooner or later sweep it away without mercy. According to the court materials, the man first posted on social media portraits of the leaders. The court sentenced them to 5 years, released him to his sentence with a probation period of 2 years. Why isn't this considered a form of censorship? Where's Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch and all the persecution? I mean, they accuse Cuba of all this persecution and shit. Is this not persecution? How is this not persecution? Why isn't Ukraine an authoritarian government persecuting people, right? It really makes you think. Really makes you think. And now for you, it's preaching to the choir. But you'd be surprised how many people would be surprised by this. Do you agree with this article by the CGBML? If so, why? If not, why? What is the article? The reactionary nightmare of gender fluidity. We do not advocate and we cannot allow the bourgeoisie to impose a divisive ideology on us. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this specifically. About whether there's only two genders or not. I don't know if I'm allowed to like talk about that. And by the way, I'm not transphobic at all. But most trans people I know identify with one or the other gender, right? So I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't know what Twitch's rules are about whether you can believe in, whether you're allowed to believe in only two genders. So I don't know what to say, right? But all I could say is sometimes I'm confused. If I could say that, I'm a little confused sometimes. And you know, okay, so, and what is this? It got 2 upvotes, now it's 4. Is this a joke? What? You know, you didn't have to post, even if you didn't have to post this doodle. You could have just made the doodle and not posted it. Okay? Imagine what an insult it would be if I made this my new Twitter profile picture. Wouldn't that be the biggest slap in the face of the ABC guy? Because I'm actually considering changing my picture to his. Like, first of all, there's a lot of problems here. Like, my hair is not this light. And would it have been that hard to add some eyes? You don't have to color my skin, but would it have been so hard to add like an eye or two, maybe? I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna upvote it because this guy said cringe and this guy said like you have anything better to do. And that's actually a good point. Like, at least this guy did something. All you did was say cringe. Okay? To be honest, at least he did something. You know, he didn't put that much effort into it. He didn't take it that seriously, but he did do something, and it is what it is. Take it or leave it. One of those type of things, right? So I guess I'll take it. Am I making it my profile picture? No. But I will upvote it. Okay? Mac announcement regarding the coups and juntas in Mali. So we're going to cover this after. We're going to go talk. We're going to see what's going on in Mali. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to cover that afterwards.
Actual geopolitical threats will change anything. I feel like the only thing we can do at this point is starve Russia out. We're wealthy.
I don't really take anything this guy says seriously, and I'll tell you why. Because am I allowed to cover Vosh? I'm allowed to cover him, right? I just can't, like... He said something interesting that Jordan Peterson posted, retweeted, and this is what he said, right? You don't think I can? Doesn't Destiny do it all the time? No, Destiny shows him all the time, right? And Dylan Burns just spent yesterday covering his debate. So I'm pretty sure I can show Vosh. I just can't like have him on live, right? So let's see. They had nothing will happen. Okay. And if anything does happen, that means they can all be reported for the same offense, right? So this is what Vosh
Far
says.
be it from
and this is why I stopped taking him seriously at all. So check this out.
me to suggest anything illegal. I love the law. So I'll speak within the bounds of the law, and I'll simply say that I would be okay with desperately and despicably aggressive action against people who spread climate misinformation from the government. I would be okay with special courts being set up for it. I would be okay with entire sets of legal precedent being established for the specific purpose of disempowering and arresting those people. And I think what they are doing is a crime against humanity.
So this is one of those things that you just can't take seriously. It's like he's trying to exaggerate how much he's like butthurt about people who have differing views on the climate than he does. And it bothers him so much that he's, saying this shit. But what is the real substance behind this when this is a guy who's like political champion, can't even get healthcare passed? What's this? He's gonna do all this based on what power? Where are you gonna get the? You mean you can't even enforce masks? This is a guy. I mean, the Supreme Court shot down mask mandates, federal mask mandates. Weren't they, or was it the vaccine ones? Well, the Supreme Court shot something down as so mundane as that. What's the substance behind this? She's just trying to be edgy. That's it. Why would you ever take this seriously? You can't even enforce masks, and you're gonna do something like this. You're going to throw. I would love to know how you would what would you have to do to the First Amendment to do that, right? So, are you just gonna suspend there's no interpretation of the First Amendment that would make that possible, right? So, unless you're gonna be able to overthrow the government. So let me ask, okay, I'm going to propose to you why I think Vosh is a fascist. And I'll tell you, unironically, I think he does represent a new fascism that's emerging. Which is, again, I told you, is between the woke crowd and the neoconservatives. So I'll explain it as simple as this, and then we're going to move on. First thing, in order that you would have the ability or the power to suspend the First Amendment in this way, you have to overthrow the government. There's no court there's no democratic means by which you are going to suspend the First Amendment in this way. So he may say we're going to have a revolution. But in order to have a revolution, you need to have a significant proportion of the population behind you. That's not, and also, moreover, that proportion has to be willing to overthrow the government. The only people who would possibly be overthrowing the government anytime soon would be the Trump supporters, right? The other ones are either too cowardly to try and overthrow the government, don't have an incentive to, or aren't numerous enough, right? Well, we know that's an absurdity. It's not going to happen. Trump voters are not going to, people who have all these guns in the countryside and these, hillbillies or whatever, they're not going to, the so-called hillbillies, it's a sociological term. They're not going to people in the countryside, basically. They're not going to just spontaneously, get behind an effort to overthrow the government in order to curtail their liberties and freedoms. They'll never do that. It's just an impossible scenario. So the only other option would be a coup instituted by the military or elements in the military, the deep state and the CIA and the foreign relations, State Department, things like that. They, with the help of maybe private contracting firms and companies, alongside, and this is actually what could make a coup in America possible, big tech. If you have the logistical support of big tech, all of big tech's data, and the power of big tech, you probably could accomplish a coup, right? I mean, Twitter was made primarily for overthrowing governments. It was used during the Arab Spring, the so-called Arab Spring, to accomplish just that. So, yeah, it would be a coup, an undemocratic coup, right? Would that be like an anti-fascist coup? No, it'd be a fascist coup. That's what fascism always was. And that's why Vosh is a fascist. He's just advocated for something that could not... Yeah, a big tech businessman's plot. Just like the one that Smedley Butler uncovered. So, whatever Vosh would want to accomplish here, he's advocating for something that could only possibly be enforced or accomplished through a fascist coup. There's no way it could happen under the America's electoral legal means. It could not happen through a popular revolution because would be a profusely unpopular policy. So it would have to happen through a fascist coup. Vosh is like, hear me out, hear me out. We need fascism to stop fascism. we need a fascist coup backed by big business and big tech and Wall Street that comes at the expense of the democratic will to curtail people's civil liberties in an unprecedented way. Don't call it fascism, because fascism is only when you are allied with Russia and North Korea. Don't call it fascism, because fascism is only when it comes from the Republican Party. So yeah, that's why I think Vosh actually is a fascist. I mean, look, let me just put it this way in simpler terms. In my first and only debate with Vosh, only debate because he refuses to debate me, I told him that fascism is the psychosis of liberalism. And he laughed. But Vosh himself proved my point. The reason I called fascism the psychosis of liberalism is for the same reason he's advocating for persecuting so-called climate misinformation with the full force of the state, alluding to, possibly corporal punishment for it, right? Or worse, and taking their children away. And doing so, moreover, by a mechanism that could not be affected other than through a fascist coup. So you go from liberalism to fascism pretty easily with Vosh, right? And that's the origin of fascism itself. Fascism is the psychosis of liberalism. That's exactly what I meant. The same way in which you go from liberalism to what Vosh is, that's how it happens with fascism too. When the liberal order becomes threatened by the very freedoms liberalism allows, liberalism becomes fascist. The first example was communists took advantage of the liberties of the liberal order, such as the right to free association and free speech, the right to unionize. Communists took advantage of that, so liberals had to turn to fascism to make it no longer possible. Thank you, Dutch. To save liberalism, they had to adopt fascism. To save liberalism, right? Because liberalism was otherwise going to become something else. It was going to become illiberal, right? And if it wasn't going to become communist, it was going to be like a New Deal style American welfare state that circumvented the principles of classical liberalism, right? This is we're watching a slow morph of the same woke left that we're getting it's like canceling us or whatever. It's becoming fascist. Malthusianism is going to become the norm. Eugenics is going to become the norm. And it's like this whole time, leftists, we're thinking it's some authority on what the true left is, and it's just slowly turning into fascism. React to this on stream. Taiwan pro-Beijing publication. You can change China. What?
Help us to participate. WHO. Okay,
And you think China isn't going to block that? Yes,
well, we
they'll
can
block
talk
it
to
as
them.
best they
we
can.
should try to talk to them.
Oh, you're talking as
we
achieved
should try
such
to
great
talk.
results.
No,
hasn't
KMT.
it? It's achieved such great results.
KMT did that. KMT did that. KMT tried to talk to mainland China, and they tried to let us participate.
Mr. Cho,
especially
Mr. Cho.
WHO.
Yeah, I'm gonna pee. I'll be right back. I'm gonna pee and grab something from the fridge. I will be right back. Hey, sorry. I had a fucking salmon dinner. I had a fork, plastic fork that I had to clean. So yeah.
ICAO.
Mr. Cho, Beijing is clearly losing patience with Taiwan. While you dream of some vague love-in between Taipei and the mainland, China is crystal clear what it wants from you, and that's reunification. And it refuses to rule out the use of force to get it, doesn't it? And you live with that and you normalize that on a daily basis.
Okay, in our constitution.
Instead of saying to them,
no,
you can't do that. You can't insist on
the
it.
Constitution, okay, there's only one China policy, and that includes mainland, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Macau. That's in our Constitution. We should abide by our constitutional rights.
You're being told by Xi Jinping.
This old guy always acts like a hard ass every time he talks to anyone from China. He looks like he's like the great grandson of the fucking colonel who went to China like during the Opium Wars trying to fucking colonize China. Now you listen here. You like, what the fuck are you doing there, dude? Have some self-awareness. What did Britain do to China historically? Do you have any self-awareness about what this looks like? Why are you there? Why didn't they send like a French guy or a German guy? Or like, I don't know, why did they have to send someone who comes from a country that like very clearly had predatory ambitions on China throughout the entirety of their interaction? It's just like a weird coincidence, isn't it? Yeah. He's like, my ancestors died in the Boxer Rebellion. You know, like, what did they have to send this? Okay, you know what? This is an extreme example. I don't know if I could say this, but this would be like, sending a German reporter to like scold the Jewish community in New York for not taking vaccines. It had a heavy German accent and shit. It's like, okay, it's clearly not in good taste though, right? It's not really in great taste to do that. It'd be like sending this aggressive German journalist to go scold the New York Hasidic community for not complying with vaccines or something. That's what it would be like. Of course they wouldn't do that because it's in bad taste. Well, what do you think this looks like?
As you were in January, unification is an inevitable requirement for the great rejuvenation of the Chinese people. He said Taiwan should accept that it must and will be reunited with China. Whatever talks you've been having with China hasn't got them out of that idea. And how many people in Taiwan want that reunification? Under 3%.
Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about what the people think.
Don't worry about what the people think. But don't worry about their threatening words.
Why don't you stand up to those threatening words?
Well, we stand up too.
You don't.
We stand up to that. But in
Inevitable
our constitution, remember,
Taiwan must and will be reunited with China. That's an ultimatum.
Have you tried to take a look of our constitution? Have you tried to take a look of our laws?
Mr. Cho, I'm looking at what China is saying
in our laws
you.
And in our constitution, we want a peaceful relationship. We want a unification.
The people don't.
It's true.
The people don't.
No, that's in our law and the constitution.
The people don't. It doesn't matter what the people want.
Then try to amend the constitution. That's your perception. Our people.
And if you try to amend the constitution, you'll fail. Why? Because the KMT's still big in Taiwan.
People here want to have a peaceful relationship with the mainland. And we want to make money. We want to do business together. We want to have a democracy in the future in mainland China, but not fighting against them, not taking them as an enemy, trying to be their friends, and try to change them by participation, like what you do in the Europe.
That's working so well, isn't it? The reality is, Mr. Cho, that Beijing's push on unification puts your party, the Kuomintang, into a very difficult position, doesn't it? Your veteran China expert, Su Qi, actually said that.
like the most generic pizza ever, but that's why it tastes so good. It's the most generic tasting cheese pizza ever, which is why it's so good.
He said Xi Jinping took away all the space for ambiguity, and that puts us, the Kuomintang, in a very difficult situation. That difficulty being that your party is being told, get on with this by China, and you don't have a policy of standing up to it, do you?
I do have a policy.
What is it?
I declare that. I claim that. I want to unify China. I want to unify
under Taiwan's
mainland.
Rules.
Yes.
Some chance. 23 million people in Taiwan against more than a billion.
I have the courage to say that. That's my policy.
It's
not fantasy.
It's fantasy.
You have to remember
it's not going to happen. You know that.
To be honest, it's not fantasy. If the Communist Party's rule is ever threatened in China, the KMT is going to be the one to take over. So it's not really a fantasy. And it's something I'm sure the Communist Party kind of takes seriously, you know?
That I know that.
In the world. You have to understand the history in the world. What's happening now? Unification? Separation? Yes. Yes, that's the process. Unification, separation, separation, unification. That's the track of the history. But there's one thing very important.
It's not
1 year anniversary coming up fast.
Thank you, Gaga.
Track of history is just words, isn't it? Track of history is just words.
It's the facts.
The question is what people want now. And the fact is that the vast majority of your population don't want unification with China. Have you ever stood up to China?
I stand up.
Have you ever said no to them?
I stand up for the Republic of China.
Have you ever said no to Beijing?
Yes. For many times.
What, on human rights issues, for instance?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
The continuing crackdown on human rights activists?
When Tiananmen issue accident happened.
That was 30 years ago.
I vetoed them.
That was 30 years ago.
Whenever I went to China, I told them, you need to introduce democracy to your society.
Oh, they're listening.
Yes,
they're really
listening.
So we see the biggest crackdown in 25 years taking place on human rights activists. Human Rights Watch.
I wonder what he says about Hong Kong.
Reported last year, human rights defenders continue to endure arbitrary detention, imprisonment, and enforced disappearance.
Yes.
And you say nothing about that.
Have you heard I said anything about that? I did.
Just now.
Hold on, 1 sec. Oh, cause you thought I forgot about shit. Gotta be careful. You thought I forgot about that easy bread. I gotta have. Listen, guys, don't eat like me. Do not eat like me. I'm fucking bulking. This is my bulking season, okay? So thank you, Rev Status. I'm eating like a fucking pig. Listen, I had my vegetables. I had my pizza sauce, tomatoes. But it tastes way better when it's hot. I'm dirty bulking. No, it's not Little Caesars. I don't want a lean shredded look. All right, last one. Last one. I'm gonna address the cheat day thing in a second. Oh. Alright, I'm gonna grab my Diet Coke to wash it down. No, I'm kidding, I don't do that. I don't drink pop. But guys, I'm gonna address this whole cheat day thing because it needs to be talked about. So I used to be like you, where I'd have cheat days, right? I don't do that anymore. I'll eat what I want because sometimes I don't want to eat at all. Some days I'll have one meal. Some days I'll have one meal. So it's just like it all balances out. I started eating what I wanted like 5 months ago, and there's been no effect on how I look. In fact, I think I look better. I think I've actually like started to look more lean and shredded and shit because I stopped forcing myself to eat. I just ate what I... Sometimes I'd have one meal and some days I wouldn't eat at all. I'd eat very lightly. And then, I don't eat bad because the truth is, guys, people who have eating disorders, shut the fuck up about abs, dude. I never cared about abs. People who have eating disorders force themselves to eat junk food. They just have to. They don't even want to, right? Right? Eating fried chicken right now disgusts me. Thinking about eating more pizza right now disgusts me. Thinking about eating a burger right now disgusts me. Thinking about eating fries right now disgusts me, right? Sometimes you do have to discipline when you have a bad overall habit, but I don't, right? And here's the truth, guys. I ate like a pig in LA in terms of like, I cheated every day in LA. Every day in LA, I ate junk food of some kind. It's just that some days I barely ate at all. I had fried food like every day in LA. I'd have fries every day in LA. I did not get fat or anything.
I even told them, because you don't know my history dealing with them. I have many dialogues with them. I told them you have to improve. That's human rights. That's international standards of treating your people. I told them to, okay? I have to tell you one thing. If you don't participate, if you don't join them, if you don't treat them like they can improve, then nothing good is going to happen.
It's
And
a
what I'm
fine line.
doing here,
It's a fine line between that and appeasement, isn't it?
yes,
It's a very fine line.
very fine line. It's very ambiguous, but you have to do that from your heart. People know that.
Ever spoken up for the Taiwanese democracy activist Li Ming-che? It's more than Li Ming-che. It's more than 2 years since he was forcibly disappeared. You hadn't heard of him, Li Ming-che. It's more than 2 years since he was forcibly disappeared by police in China's Guangdong province and charged with subversion of state power. He's a citizen of Taiwan. You don't talk about it. You don't even know his name.
No.
He's in terrible
Because he violated mainland laws.
conditions. Human rights groups around the world have been campaigning for his release.
No, what about a government?
He's sentenced to 5 years in jail. Can't get phone calls, can't get letters. 4 times his wife was prevented from going to mainland China to visit him. And
you know,
his rights are being abused.
Around 20 years ago, I tried to talk to Chinese communists to release an espionage suspects.
Let me actually look that up myself, because this guy, I don't think he's heard of it either. He just, hey, Li Ming-che. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, forgive me. We're going to look that up. Li Ming-che. Let's see. So here's what happened. Pro-democracy act was detained by Chinese authorities. He entered the domain of China from Macau. Okay, so he entered the territory governed by the People's Government of China. And there you go. On suspicion of harming national security. So he violated China's laws. He literally went to the mainland, violated their laws, and then got detained. That's what this idiot fucking interviewer is bringing up. All I had to do was look that up once to know the truth. It's fucking stupid. Hold on, let me blow my nose. It's fucking dumb. I did not hear my toilet flush, therefore it's clogged. Therefore, I don't give a fuck. I kind of feel gross after that pizza, not gonna lie. Oh god. It's the Azov battalion. You know what's sad is I don't even know if it would be considered a hate symbol. Isn't that fucked up? It is. I don't know, like, by our standards. We're gonna get rid of that. Okay. Okay, first of all, Reddit moderators who fucking approve that. Who the fuck approved that? Is this why we okay, so we're not going to check the Reddit anymore then. We're not going to be checking the Reddit anymore. Simple as that. Who approved that? Because whoever approved that is getting removed as a fucking mod on the Reddit. Hover over the green check mark to see who approved it. Where? I can't see because I removed it. And it's not even a funny meme. It's just fucking stupid. It's just fucking stupid. Hold on, let me double check something. Because I didn't even see that image. Hold on, give me a second.